life, the bright lights, the type the crowd likes. Where you at, ballers? Ladies love me and men, they wanna be me, they pay to come see me. Where you at, ballers?
Hornets at Sixers, 7 o'clock, Wells Fargo Arena, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. NBA shot clock on this Friday. A top lean in this game, Charlotte plus 11. Philadelphia comes home off a blowout loss against Boston in a theoretical bounce back, but really a tough calendar spot. A home one-off against Charlotte, who they've dominated this year already, before traveling to Dallas on Sunday for a national game. Since losing Joel Embiid to injury about 3 weeks ago, Philadelphia is 1-7 ATS at home, and we don't think that's going to improve until Embiid returns in about a month. Charlotte comes into tonight's game on a home road back-to-back off a tight push against Milwaukee last night. You would think this is a fatigue spot for Charlotte, but Charlotte is totally reinvented, particularly on the defensive end, with new acquisitions, Trey Mann, Grant Williams, and Seth Curry. And maybe surprisingly to most, Charlotte is 4-1 ATS on the second leg of a back-to-back last 5. As I mentioned before, Philly has dominated this matchup this year. It's getting tighter. In the previous game, Philadelphia did win on the road in a tight one, 97-89. This line is short. We think Philadelphia wins this game by single digits. A top lean in this game, Charlotte plus 11. Let's dominate.
Mavs at Celtics. Judah Browne back with NBA Shot Clock on this Friday, March 1st with another free pick. We're rocking with the Celtics. First half, -5.5. One of my favorite tickets to cash all season. Celtics first half, Pelicans first half. Why? Those are the only two teams with double-digit first half net ratings. The Celtics are plus 14 in the first half per 100 possessions. The Pelicans are plus 10 per 100. Nobody else is in double digits. Now, Luka Doncic being questionable obviously helps with this play. But even if he was playing, I'm going to be honest with you, watch Celtics games. Tell me, other than Minnesota, tell me where you're going to find a more versatile defensive team. They'll take Drew Holiday and just put him on a big man. They'll play zone and take Drew Holiday, put him in the middle of the zone, just let him roam. Derek White is a beast defensively. Jaylen Brown got that big contract because he's a two-way player. Jason Tatum's defense has gone to another level. They got Kristaps Porzingis in situations where all he's got to do is roam and be a help side defender. They're properly elite defensively, and I think that they're going to be able to give the Mavericks some problems because the Mavericks are a very good offensive team. We all know this. But I think in the first half, the Celtics are going to do what they've done all season, especially at home. Foot to neck. You know I always love to say that, but that's exactly what they're going to do in the first half to this Mavs team that's played a lot of road games in the last couple of days. Give me the Celtics. First half, -5.5. Let's cash this ticket, y'all.
Cavs at Pistons, divisional basketball, NBA shot clock. Friday, March 1st, a couple leans for you guys in this game. This game is tightly graded as it is the fourth matchup of the year in the division, and books are data abundant, which means they know a lot, and we can adjust off their numbers and tell you what they expect. They expect a Cleveland cover and a Cleveland outright win by 11 points. A top lean is -9, and they also expect significantly less points off a 128-121 game played in Cleveland on January 31st. That game finished at 249 on a 228.5, and now they're moving the line down to 222.5. We advise you guys to take the under, as the two previous games in this series finished at 208 and 211, and the number is telling you a southward regression is coming. Cleveland's coming off of two very uncharacteristic, poor defensive efforts at Dallas and a double overtime game in Chicago. Prior to those two games, Cleveland was holding their opponents to 100.1 points per game on the road, previous 8. We also think Detroit team total under has merit, as Detroit does have the 29th offensive rating in the league. A lot going on in this game. It is sharply graded. If you want to bet this, we think Cleveland covers the spread. It goes under very closely, and the Detroit team total under will be the side as well. 3 leans in one game. It is NBA Shot Clock. Let's dominate.
Blazers at Grizzlies. Junior Browne back with NBA Shot Clock on this Friday, March 1st with another free pick, and we're rocking with the under 209.5 in this game between two of the worst offensive teams in the league. Jaren Jackson Jr. is slated to be out. I believe G.G. Jackson is out as well. On Portland's side, Scoot Henderson is out and Malcolm Brogdon are out. Listen, even at full strength, both of these teams really struggle to get to 100 points. I'm going to look at the Blazers side first. I just mentioned Scoot Henderson and Malcolm Brogdon. Those are basically your 2 point guards. I don't know any team in basketball that could lose their 2 main ball handlers and still be the same. So even with these guys, Blazers are terrible. Without them, they're horrendous. Now, on the Memphis side, if you want to make the argument, well, with Jaren Jackson Jr., their defense is going to be much worse, so they should allow points. Possibly, but there's 2 sides to that coin. Jaren Jackson Jr. is also their main offensive threat with all the injuries they have right now. So you take him out of the lineup. Again, this is going to be a team that's going to struggle to score points. It's just going to be an ugly game all around. I don't think I need to make too much more of a case for 2 of the worst offensive teams in the league not being able to pull up points. Just look at their output in the last couple of weeks and since the All-Star break. Give me the under 209.5. Let's cash another ticket, y'all.
Warriors at Raptors, 7:30 p.m. Friday, March 1st, the buy hat is engaged. Golden State -2, 1 unit. The Warriors come into tonight's game on a road back-to-back off a double-digit win in New York last night. You would think this is a fade spot. Not this season and not at this time of the year. The Warriors need every game they can get as they scale upward in the Western playoff race. And they are 5-2 straight up on the second leg of a back-to-back on the road this year, with their only non-cover in recent history, an overtime non-cover in Atlanta. They covered the 48, and they're playing great ball every 48. Golden State is 7-3 ATS at the East, and more specifically, they are 4-0 as a favorite at the East. And this game takes on very specific revenge motivation. Back on January 7th, Toronto went into Golden State and hammered the Warriors, 133-118. Key point on that game, however, no Draymond Green. Steph Curry 0 for 9 from the three-point line, one of his worst career games. Toronto shot close to 60% from the field. That won't repeat itself. And Toronto is 1-4 at home ATS against the Western Conference since trading Pascal Siakam. Buy the dubs tonight. Let's dominate this card. The buy hat is engaged, a 1 unit special. Let's cash this ticket.
Kings at Wolves. Junior Browne back with NBA Shot Clock on this Friday, March 1st with another free pick, and we're rocking with Minnesota -6 at home against Sacramento. This is a fate of Sacramento because this is kind of a lot of points between 2 playoff caliber teams. Now, Minnesota's on a different level than Sacramento. Sacramento is a playoff team, but they're one of those teams that treads water. They give up as many points as they score, so their nightly output is very inconsistent. As far as this game goes, I'm going to go by what I saw in the last game when Sacramento only put up 98 points and their stars played well. That happened because of a trend that we've been seeing all season from Minnesota. The defense that their second unit plays is just too much for other teams' second unit. They put the clamps on the non-starters from every other team, and I think that's going to be the case tonight. And the Sacramento Kings, by the way, another reason why I am so willing to fade them against this number. Their defense since the All-Star break has been horrendous. Their defense isn't good ever, but it's been worse than normal. I think that combination with the way that Minnesota continues to improve game after game makes me comfortable laying this many points in this spot. Now, Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man, listed as questionable. I do believe he's going to play, but keep your eye on that injury report. But let's go ahead and cash another ticket in this week out strong, y'all.
Pacers at Pelicans, 8 o'clock, Smoothie King Center, Friday, March 1st, NBA shot clock. A top play on the Pelicans, -4. This is your classic old school home and home sequence. New Orleans just played at Indiana. Now Indiana plays at New Orleans in back-to-back games. This is a very unique competitive environment that mirrors a playoff series, and you get transparency in terms of the bounce back. New Orleans did just take a non-cover loss on Wednesday night in Indiana, which we did have on NBA Shot Clock for Indiana, and now we expect the reversal, and the number is telling us a reversal. Indiana won by 9 at home on a -5, and now this opens at New Orleans -3.5, indicating some margin tonight. New Orleans is 4-1 ATS, coming home in the first game of a home sequence off a prior road non-cover. They have been lackluster at home recently. 6-9 ATS last 15, 0-3 against the Eastern Conference. Both spots they should improve starting tonight. Indiana's been pedestrian at the West, 3-5, and as I mentioned to open up this segment, this is the home and home competitive playoff dynamic. Buy it tonight. New Orleans will be turned up for immediate revenge on a strong line. -4, 1 unit. Let's dominate.
Bucks at Bulls. Junior Browne back with NBA Shot Clock on this Friday, March 1st with another free pick, and we're rocking with the Milwaukee Bucks -3.5. The better team getting a short number. I do understand that Chicago's frisky. I say this all the time on this show when I do these videos and Chicago comes up. I'm not a believer in Chicago. I know my Capper friends are always trying to tell me they're better than people think. Nah, it's because y'all are always betting on them, and they're frisky and they hang around, but they're under 500 for a reason. It's not a good basketball team. Milwaukee, as much hate as they get, are a good basketball team. It's just that their expectations are way higher. They're championship or bust, so they're being judged on a different scale. Since the All-Star break, they've obviously looked like a much better team, but we can't read too much into that because their level of competition hasn't been the greatest. They've done what they're supposed to do. They're playing at a slower pace, which is why I think their defense looks better. I'm not sure that it actually is better, especially until they start to play some of the more elite teams in the league. But I do think in tonight's spot, with this being half a road game, and I say half a road game because Milwaukee's 45 minutes from Chicago. This half a road game, I think Milwaukee comes in, handles business, and covers this 3.5 because they have bigger fish to fry. They're using this 20-something game stretch leading into the playoffs to get right and beat the team who we thought they would be. That's a team that's going to make a championship run. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. But tonight, with Alex Caruso looking like he's going to miss the game, you take away the pressure that he puts on the ball defensively, and I think Milwaukee will be able to do enough to cover this 3.5 point spread for us, and of course, cash yet another ticket this week. Thank you for rocking with us. Let's cash this ticket, y'all.
Wizards at Clippers, 10:30 p.m. Los Angeles, California, March 1st, 2024. A top lean in this game for those of you guys who want to gamble late night. Washington +15. Clippers come into tonight's game off an excruciating fourth quarter melt to the Lakers in their previous home game and are showcasing back-to-back home losses. This is a bounce back, but I don't think this is a bounce back to cover a big number, just to win the game. And it's really centered around this calendar spot. This is the final home game before they go on the road on Sunday to face Minnesota, who is currently the #1 seed in the West, and it is a double revenge game for the Clippers. Motivation will be there on Sunday, not so much tonight. Washington is on a second leg back-to-back at the West, having played the Lakers last night. Washington has not been bad in this spot, so this is not an auto fade because they are fatigued. This is a revenge game for Washington. The Clippers did cover on the road, -13, 125-109 on January 31st. Key point here, the line on the road was a heavy -13, only 14.5 here at open. It is short, suggesting a game played inside of 13 points. Top lean in this game, +15. It is NBA Shot Clock on this Friday, opening up the final month of the regular season in full. It is J.A. Cavalier, the Shark, and Junior Browne. We're sending you guys great vibes on this Friday night. Please bet responsibly, and let's dominate.